to the point where I was like, maybe I should just get Botox. And then my forehead, I'm not even joking. That's the really sad thing. I was so paranoid about it. Maybe it's an age thing. You kind of start to get to a point, you go, do you know what, this is me. And you just become more comfortable in yourself. Trust and communication. I mean, Chris is my best friend, so it does feel very easy most of the time. Obviously there are going to be things external and internal that happen, but it's just about how you navigate them together. For me, honesty is always like the most important thing. Honesty and trust. Otherwise, what's the point? You know, it's also you also look at yourself, because you know and
that's scary for some people. It's scary to look into that darkness.
And not a lot of people are very good at looking at their own flaws.
Talk about it.
If you're free and in the Islington area, it starts on the 7th of May. And it's for the week at the Hope Theatre.
Amazing. And repeat the name of it again.
Rock, Paper, Scissors.
You are now tuned in to the Tokyo Diaries podcast. Sensational.
In a way you won't expect it as well. Yeah. Okay, who plays Zelda in 2024?
You're rolling, so
yes.
you already met.
Okay, thank you. Hello. Welcome to the Tokyo Diaries podcast. As usual, I am your host, Jenkinson Denzel Southern, aka Math the filmmaker, and today I'm joined by not only the director of I Hate Lucy Drew, I'm joined by a Tottenham fan, first and foremost. Emma Lowe, welcome to the studio.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Why support Tottenham, and how long have you had that problem?
I don't support Tottenham. I'm sorry to all the football fans, but I don't really care about football.
Fair enough. I know. So what do you do? Occupation, tell us a bit about yourself, and how did you meet this crazy individual sitting across from you?
So I am an actor, slash PA, slash medical role play, slash...
Zelda enthusiast.
Yeah. Gaming in general enthusiast. Yeah. I think we met.
I was thinking on the way. Forgot which one you auditioned for. I think was it Peanut Butter Party?
It was Peanut Butter Party. Yeah.
But then you did Daughter, because I wanted to do like a short film about a certain character that you were playing. Yeah, and I mean that was... Yeah. I mean, I lose concept of time in general, let alone with COVID, so... It was like 7 years ago now.
Easily.
It was before 2020. I want to say maybe it was 2019.
Yeah.
So that would put us at almost 5 years.
Wow. Known you a while.
Gosh, man. Wow.
Yeah.
Where's the time go, right?
Don't. It's scary. It's scary.
Speaking of time, how have you spent the beginning of the year so far? Say beginning of December 2023 to like now we're at the end of the first quarter of 2024. How's it been for you, you'd say, acting wise, and be honest?
Acting wise, it's been really, really quiet. I think with all the strikes from last year, there's still such an knock-on effect, and even when I talk to other people, everyone's been really, really quiet. So acting wise, it's only just starting to pick up now for me. I've got a few things kind of lined up for the next few weeks and next couple of months. Personal life wise, it was great. I did a bit of traveling. Just living my best life, as they say.
When I hear that, I obviously know how the industry can be and all these kind of things, but for people who aren't initiated into it, as I said with my interview with Mac, how does an actor find those quiet times? How did you kind of like navigate that without losing your mind? Because it can be very, you kind of tends to blame yourself or think, oh, is it this, is it that? Like what helped you navigate those times or those periods? Because it must have happened before, like no one is just getting knockout after knockout. There are quiet times. Yeah,
I mean, I feel like as an actor, most of your time is quiet time, and it's learning to accept rejection. I mean, I'm probably not the best person to ask, because I have a habit of just booking a flight and going on holiday or traveling, which has calmed down a lot in the last few years, especially since getting married and stuff like that.
So that's why you were in India. That's why.
Well, yeah, I was like, December's always quiet in general anyway. So in my head, I'm like, it's the best time to go because, auditions aren't going to come up. But yeah, I mean, most of my life I've always run away from stuff and catching a flight. So, but in general, I think it's more just you have to have other passions and be creative in other aspects. I think like with directing, I Hate You, Lucy Drew, that's never been something I'd never would have considered doing it before. I've always been like, I want to act. That's where the passion is. I want to be in front of the screen. And although I've like dabbled a bit in writing and a few other things like that, I've never thought about taking it any further. So, and this is great because it's all about just being creative. And I think that's how you manage the quiet times, because otherwise if you're just doing that survival job, you will get depressed.
That's true. I mean, that made me think about my moments now too. Damn, you put me back in that spot. Funny enough, you mentioned a couple words there that stuck out to me. I Hate You, Lucy Drew. How did that happen for you? Obviously I know, but how did you get dragged into that wacky story?
I don't even really know how I got dragged into it. I mean, really, I think it's just, and I think it goes in all aspects of like this crazy industry that we all love. It's obviously it's about your work ethic and the stuff that you put out, but it's also about you as a person. And I think I'm really bad at networking, and I know we have conversations about it all the time that I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. But
with technology, no,
well, no, but I think like with networking, and it's just about being a nice person or having a genuine interest. And I think we could both see from each other like our passion for creating stories and things like that. And I would like to think that is the reason why you were like, hey.
Yeah, that phone
I have
call
an idea for you.
yeah. I remember when I called you, you were, I heard you were like, okay. It's like I had 6 says, and I'm like, she wants to tell me to F off so bad. And I'm like, hey, look, Emma, just trust me, just read it, and I can see it in you. Because one thing, even when you had all the other guests here in the studio that I've interviewed already, you just took like a duck to water, and I can see that. And I always say directing is 50% your skill and 50% how you are with people, because as a director, you're the captain of the ship. People are coming to you with all these questions and answers, and it's not life or death, but in my opinion, I think it really helps if you know how to work with people, if you know how to talk to people, because actors are different. Some want you to be there for every little word. Some want you to kind of back off and let them do their thing. And that's a skill. It's people skills. And I know certain directors where it's like, they're great at their craft when it comes to like making people feel good, feel happy. I've been on sets where the director was great, but everyone there was miserable. And they were just looking at their clock, or some people were like crying in the corner. I'm like, isn't this supposed to be fun, guys? Are we supposed to be enjoying ourselves? I mean, it's hard enough as it is. And I just never got that with you. I always got, you're almost like always grateful to just receive any acknowledgement. And as I've said multiple times, good people, I'm like, sign me up. I want to keep them employed. I want to keep them earning money. I want to keep them getting work, because good people deserve to have good things happen to them. Sue me. I think you can go to work and actually enjoy yourself. I think you can come back from work and not hate your existence. I don't think you have to pick one. Yeah. And you've never made me feel silly for trying to do something for you. I've never felt like, oh, well, she doesn't really appreciate it. Never. And please don't start now. So I just wanted to give you flowers and say that's why. And
thank you.
You're welcome. So for those who may have seen the trailer, we've read the script and we know exactly. I Hate You, Lucy Drew. What can you say about it without giving away the entire plot? What can you kind of say about this crazy girl and her crazy story she goes on?
Without giving it away?
Yeah. And what do you think about the script?
I mean, I'm not just saying this because I'm involved in it.
2 feet away from me. Yeah.
And because, the person who wrote it is right there. No, but I genuinely, I really, really loved it. And I mean, I said it to you as soon as we'd finished the table read, that there's not many times when, especially being an actor, and you read scripts a lot, and it just stood out to me. And I don't know, maybe it was because it resonated with me a lot, and that's, or maybe I won't say that just in case. But I think just like her journey and the fact that she is just like the everyday girl and the struggles she goes through, and I just love it when the film can have a very literal meaning but also a very otherworldly and
esoteric.
Take it how you want to take it. And I think that was the thing for me, and it just had me with so many questions and reflecting on myself, and that's what I think good stories are, when they get you thinking like that.
Speaking of how she goes through it, what can you kind of say about the plot without giving away any major points? Like, they've seen the trailer, they've seen us go in the elevator, bleeding, happy. We obviously know the context of everything, but how would you say that all this unfolds, really, in a quick summary of the film?
I would say it's about leveling up really quick without giving it away.
I mean, that's a way to say it. Is there a moment in the actual story that you like from the script that you're excited to shoot, that, without giving away but kind of allude to, of like something that happens, just like, okay, that scene people are really gonna love, you feel?
I think it's the juxtaposition of the type of characters and situations that you have. I just don't think I can say it without giving it away.
Spoil anything. Yeah, exactly. Well, you said you relate to her a lot. Is there anything you'd say about like her story that you can relate to, like your own life and things that you've kind of dealt with or deal with, or etc. like that?
I mean, I imagine most of us, if not everyone, feels, sometimes that little voice in the back of your head, like, I'm not good enough, or
Absolutely,
I'm not, and especially like within this industry, half the time that's the biggest battle. It's constantly fighting against yourself, because every time when you don't land that job, when you really know you aced the audition, or you're not actually even getting auditions because it's quiet or anything like that, you're like, oh, well, is it me? Is it this? And it's so easy to quickly spiral. And I think it's just watching her grow and become more confident in herself is something that really resonates with me, because I think I'm getting there. I'm getting there, but even I can see a massive change in myself in the last few years, how much maybe it's getting older that I'm more like, I was about to swear, but you just stop.
You can swear.
You stop giving a shit as much, and you're like, well, no, this is who I am.
And that really is like a big arc for her, where like you said, like the film could just be seen about a girl learning how to stop caring if everyone likes her. The literal title of the film, I Hate You, Lucy Drew. It's kind of like a weapon used against her, like a verbal weapon, where it's like, oh, you're not liked. And you think, oh, why do you care no one likes you? But like, it's that lack of acceptance that we're all craving. It's like, oh, I want to feel accepted. And without going into what she goes through, she's in a period of her life where she's been rejected by someone, and she's very vulnerable. And I think in that, all these little earthquake outside, or just a janitor maybe. I definitely been that, was like, I don't feel accepted, I don't feel wanted, and what is my worth as a human being, and is my worth based on what I think about me or based on what others think about me? And that's such a fine line, particularly in this field of work, right? Because it really is about what either a director casting you or an actor working with you or people watching your work think of you, right?
Well, and it's but it's also so personal, because it is you.
Yeah, it's you. It's not, ain't like no hiding. It's your face, your name.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? So you can't help but take it really personally.
Absolutely.
And I think, but also in like everyday life, and it's not even in a rude way, being like, well, this is who it's. There is a sense of like, I'm trying to think of the word for it, but there's like an inner peace you get when you hit a point where you're like, it's not even that I don't care that people don't like me, because obviously we all want to be liked,
or accepted.
You can get really wrapped up in that. But you get to a point in life when you realize sometimes you're just not going to quite see eye to eye with certain people, and some others are going to brush you up the wrong way, and vice versa, and there's nothing you can do about that, and that's okay, because we're all very, everyone's different, and it's just learning to let go of some of that stuff that you just can't control.
Yeah.
And just as long as you're being a good, decent human being and trying your best, that's all you can do.
Exactly. Speaking of doing your best, you have had a hand in being a part of a attraction for one of the greatest films ever made, in my opinion. If I'm about a talking tree and a talking raccoon, Guardians of the Galaxy, you're like, what the hell are you talking about? The fuck are you talking about? How did you land that? How did that go about? And what was the experience like, would you say?
Well, it's a secret because it's secret cinema.
I was like,
no,
okay.
so my agent at the time got me the audition, and there was 3 rounds of auditions. Yep. And it was just so much fun because it's almost like being back at drama school, like the style of audition it is. And it's very collaborative and fun, and obviously there's fights, so getting to do all the fighting stuff's really good. But that was an intense, crazy experience. And it's really made me just love immersive theatre because there's nothing like it.
Speaking of nothing like it, I forgot to mention, with I Hate You, Lucy Drew, you mentioned earlier that with acting there's so many new things and it's very unexpected. Coming into directing your first short ever, I know you haven't finished shooting it yet. We haven't even started like the main bulk of it yet, but is anything already that you've seen, oh, okay, this is new, oh, this is like new skills you've picked up just by, I think a couple of days ago we were going through like casting like the main villain. Like, has any been like new experiences where it's like, oh my god, that's really cool, or like you've got like that director hat? I always say people get like the director bug where it's like, you first of all, you've never done it, you're like, okay, I'm not sure, but then when you start directing, it's like, oh, I want to change that shot, I want to change the light there. Have you got like any like little like, even like privately was like little like thoughts you're like, oh, I want to do this, I want to like get a shot of this? Have you like started to develop that bug a bit?
I think it's strange because I think usually like when you get your sides through as an actor, you're like, right, okay, I need to learn the lines quick. So sometimes I have this habit of like not even really taking it in. I'm just like lines,
just your
get
part,
them down. Yeah. Whereas
you don't want to be the one arsehole that fails it on the day.
Yeah, exactly. Or
Yeah.
like even just for auditions, just like get those lines down. Whereas I think when we were reading it, doing the table read, and I'm like, this is my director hat. Everything, it was so interesting because rather than just reading it and like kind of taking in, it was just everything was visual, and I could just see all the shots as if the movie was playing out in front of me. And the casting's a really interesting thing because it's amazing how quickly you can make these decisions when you've never even done it before. So then again, I just think if you can experience all kind of sides, no matter what part, if you want to be an actor or behind the screen or anything, it just opens up your eyes so much more to kind of how it all works. And then I can kind of go, oh, well, if I can so quickly and easily make decisions by seeing the first 2 seconds of somebody's audition, I'm like, okay, I might need to reconsider my spotlight and my self-tapes and things like that. And even watching some of the podcasts and stuff like that, it's quite interesting that I suddenly go, oh, actually, now thinking about it, I don't have that quick hook, or I haven't had this. So everything you do creatively is going to help.
Just to touch on that quickly, and if there are any actors listening or watching, what were some of the things that made you say, okay, because you said in the first 5 seconds, and I agree, but what were some of like the don'ts of like sending in a self-tape and the do's that were like, okay, no, and what was that? Okay, definitely. Because I know for sure, like when an actor, they do their scene or the lines, and then after there's like a, hi, my name is this, thank you so much for this opportunity, we'd love to talk more about it. But it's like they spent the time to do the extra mile. That is like, even if I don't even like the tape, out of courtesy alone, I'm like, okay, I want to get you in something. Maybe not this, but I want to work with you because your character as a person seems very like attractive, like hardworking, passionate, and you're willing to do the work for me. But like anything that you spotted, like, okay, don't do that, do this that you've seen on the other side?
Well, I think with the ident as well, I think that is your chance to kind of show a bit of your personality. And I think I hate idents, so I'm usually kind of laughing through them and trying not to laugh. But that's your chance to go, oh, actually, that person seems really nice and I would like to work with them. So I think that's kind of good. I mean, there's some of the obvious stuff that, you know, with like the type of like shots you're using and things like that. But I think sometimes it's actually quite interesting because as a whole, everyone's shots looked okay, but you could see some of them. just where it was positioned slightly different, and the way they kind of went for the scene, there's a connection there that was missing in quite a few of them.
It's almost like they were saying lines versus like they were the character.
Yeah. And I think it's also that thing of like, and I do it as well, like sometimes you just need to breathe and be more in it, because I think we have this thing of what do they, the casting director, want, whereas you just got to, this is me doing it, and this is and then that will make it 100% more natural as well. And I think that's what sometimes is missing.
Yeah, well, there is a lot of rejection involved in that whole process. But speaking of rejection, what would you say is the harshest rejection you faced in this, and how did you, because I know one or two stories of things that have been said to you that were really, really hard to kind of like come back from. How did you come back from that? And on the flip side, what is probably like the cloud nine moments you've had, apart from I Hate You, Lucy Drew, of course? Yes.
I won't name the project or anything. Please like
don't.
that.
I don't want to get cancelled.
But it was like one of my first kind of auditions. It was for a big screen job, and I'd done what every actor does. You know, you prep it, practiced it, sent it to my agent. Everyone was like, "Yeah, it's good, it's great." Went in there. As soon as I did my audition, I was basically ripped to shreds. The first thing they said was, "You do theatre, don't you?" And I was like, "Yes." They did not like my audition, and they went on to tell me that my eyebrows are too animated, that they move around too much. So, and I got fixated on that for years, and I mean years and years. It even got brought up in another acting class, and I like broke down over it, and I used to watch shows specifically watching at people's eyebrows, because I was like, well, they don't move. To the point where I was like, maybe I should just get Botox, and then my forehead I'm not even joking, that's the really sad thing. I was so paranoid about it, and even now sometimes, like when I do self-tapes, my husband will be like, this isn't you. He's like, why does this not move? And I'm like, because this is what they do. Yeah. This is the film world. It's very, but me as a person, I am very overly animated.
That's fine.
It is fine. And again, it's that thing of going, well, this is who I am.
Yeah. Ain't that weird? Some people be like, oh my God, I love that about you, Emma. Then you'll meet someone who's like, go die. You and your eyebrows. It's like, it's complete spectrum where it's like, oh my God, I love that shot, Denzel. The next minute it's like, you're a shit filmmaker. And it's just like, there's no in between. There's like, usually like it's your friends and family give it that in between, but they give you criticism and then they give you the praise. But you'll meet some characters in this line of work. 100%. Was that in London that happened?
Yeah.
Sorry. We're not perfect here. There's two London. There's like the working class culture, hustle and bustle, concrete jungle, cool kind of people in London. Then there's like the other Londoners, I call it the elitist. I have 6 houses in Richmond, Kew Gardens, and I come from a wealthy family. There's like those two types, and I'm definitely like the working class culture, Brixton, Brick Lane kind of people. The snobby type, you know the ones I'm talking about. Unfortunately, they share this lovely island with us. But yeah, how did you get past that? Because that's a pretty... How old are you, by the way, when that happened as well?
This is the problem with my concept of time again. It was before.
Was it before COVID or after?
Oh yeah. It was years.
Like
it was
lockdown,
years.
Pre-lockdown, post-lockdown.
Yeah, I mean, I would say it was at least 6 years ago.
Okay, like pre-2020.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, for ages I didn't get over it. I think, like, maybe it's an age thing. You kind of start to get to a point and you go, do you know what, this is me. And you just become more comfortable in yourself. And I mean, obviously I then started taking screen classes and things like that, and worked on not moving my face for like prime dramas and stuff like that. But yeah, I think I just eventually was like, you know what, I like my expressionless face. At least that people can see I'm happy from a mile away.
And I feel like as young people with the social media age we live in, that's a big thing we struggle in. But also, I can't really talk to it, but as a woman, You know, because I think women are hypersexualized for one, but then two, also as an actor, as a female actor, it's a bit like your appearance. So as a woman, how did you kind of get over that? Like, because, you know, even your partner was like, hey, relax. Like, where did that shift come, would you say? For like the ladies listening or watching.
Well, I mean,
Just time.
it is a bit of time.
Yeah.
And I mean, again, yeah, especially in this industry where everything it is about you. Like, even I mentioned it to you last time I saw you with the little scar on my arm.
I was like, what are you talking? That it's like, I thought it was a birthmark as well.
No, it was a scar on my arm where I tried to be girly and I tried to curl my hair for a wedding and it didn't go well. And then I had to go to the wedding with my arm like peeling.
Have they brought that up in auditions?
No, but again, this is a thing of like, you become so hypersensitive to anything that you do.
A spot on your cheek.
Yeah, anything that like I hate wearing anything that covers, like I hate like long sleeves and t-shirts and stuff. But now when I go to auditions, I will always wear long sleeves because I'm like, well, what if they see it and they go no? And yeah.
I laugh, but I know you're right because I know people who would.
Yeah.
It's like, you're great, but that birthmark, no.
Like,
Yeah.
but I mean, I have, to be fair, like I have had to, and obviously, you know, there are certain auditions where like you do need to have like certain clear skin, or I worked at Disney like, it feels like a lifetime ago, and one of the boys got sent away at the last stage because he had a scar on his face, but obviously because they're trying to match like a, you know,
kid
the
friendly
perfect
as well.
thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we do get a bit wrapped up in our heads, but I'm sure we could say that for all aspects of our lives, and you just have to learn to kind of relax and chill a bit.
Exactly. Well, to wrap it up, I'd say the last two questions I have, you mentioned your partner a few times in this interview. How do you not only find a marriage, you say, that worked for you, that also maintain one? Because my limited experience in relationships, I know it's a lot of work, but marriage feels like the university to the secondary school that boyfriend and girlfriend is. So how, you know, living together, you know, paying for things, like how is that? Because it does feel almost like a mini business, because there's so many things you do together as two human beings. So how have you not only managed to achieve that, but maintain it? And how expensive was your wedding, please? Because I'm not, sorry, you don't have to answer that. Go ahead.
I mean, like everything, I think it's all about trust and communication, and that's the kind of thing, and you're always working on it. I mean, Chris is my best friend, so it does feel very easy most of the time. Obviously there are going to be things external and internal that happen, but it's just about how you navigate them together. And I think as long as you're, for me, honesty is always like the most important thing. Honesty and trust. Otherwise, what's the point? And then with that and the communication, you can work through stuff. But it takes a lot of patience. It takes a lot of patience and understanding, and you both have to like grow and change together. And I think sometimes that's the hardest thing.
Yeah, because it's a negotiation of like your traumas of like, okay, I've been through, and it's like you date the person, then you see the full them of like the good parts, but also like the parts you need to work on, and it's like, do you still want to work through that? Yeah. And then that's where we're in an age now where people, as soon as they see like the full 3D, it's like, no. It's like they want it to be like the perfect trailer version, but then they see the full movie and it's like, oh.
But you know, it's also, you also look at yourself, because, you know,
and that's scary for some people. It's scary to look into that darkness.
And not a lot of people are very good at looking at their own flaws.
Talk about it.
And I know that there's days when I could probably be a bit of a nightmare, or...
I mean, how I met you today. Nothing to do with... I didn't do anything.
It was one of those days.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, so it's that, you know, patience on both sides. Yeah, I don't know. I think that's all I can say, really. Just like honesty, trust, communication, but having fun.
Yeah. And my last question. I Hate You, Lucy Drew. What is one of your hopes for it? And it doesn't have to be like, oh, I wanted to do this and this and that. We are going to have a premiere for it in London. Best city in the world. I'll say it till it's true. But personal aspirations for it, or just how people take it? Or is there certain like you want certain like girls to see in a certain way, like just any aspirations that you have, because I have my own, but like not even like from a career standpoint, maybe just even like personal, anything that you hope that film does, knowing how it ends and everything like that.
I hope that that when people watch it, that they get the same sort of cathartic experience that I got reading it, and it's also sometimes it's just nice hearing, oh, I'm not the only one going through these issues, and it's the like not feeling alone, but also seeing her journey and her coming out with the strength of it all. And I would like people who watch that to get that too, and think that they can, you just got to keep at it.
I was told Kathy this already, but I was like, I have 3 goals of that film, and that is 1, make the best film, help you make the best film that I can, and I hope the script has done my half part of the job already. Make Emma Lowe a star, make Kathy Soul a star, and make Princess Friday a star. That is like, those are my 4 to 5 objectives, and I feel like I've done 1 with the script of making the best story I can, so you have the best layup, and then Kathy makes it. Kathy.
Yeah.
Like, what is Kathy Soul like? I'll make us watch this. Or what are your take on Kathy?
I just think she's gonna be something like.
Yeah. She's got that look about her. She's got like that.
Oh, she has like the perfect screen face, and she's just like adorable as a human being.
She's
like
so different from Lucy in a way. Yeah.
And I think that's the thing, and you can see it when she does that switch and she's reading something magical, like kind of bubbling at the surface. And I'm so excited to kind of get my teeth into it, because I think it's going to be great.
Yeah. We like you, Kathy. You're one of us.
We do a lot.
We do. Emma, where can they find your social medias?
I'm on Instagram.
You said that, so like I think
I'm not very good at it, but I'm on Instagram.
If you can find me, you tell me.
I'm Emma Lowe Actor with little underscores in between.
Okay, any TikToks or Twitters?
I think I have. I mean, I know I use TikTok to watch other videos,
but
I don't really. Yeah, and the same with the Twitter. I have an account, but I don't think I really ever post.
Amazing.
But just as a little throw out, if you're free and in the Islington area, the play I was in, we debuted back in October and got some great 4-star reviews. It's called Rock, Paper, Scissors. We are doing our second run, which is an extended run of the play, in May, and it's running from, I should really have a phone diary in front of me because now I can't remember the dates. It starts on the 7th of May, and it's for the week at the Hope Theatre.
Amazing. And repeat the name of it again.
Rock, Paper, Scissors.
Fantastic. We'll link that below right here on the screen for you to see. And you know about us, Tokyo Diaries Podcast, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Spotify, Mav the Filmmaker, MAV the Filmmaker, at Maverick Studios as well. And as always, it's been a long day. I don't know about you, but I'm feeling sensational.
Sensational.
Thank you, Emma. See you next week, guys.